I didn't think I would be reviewing a follow-up to Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 1 so soon, but here I am taking a look at Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 2. The continuation of the Cuarte fantasy visual novel reintroduces characters but focuses on 2 additional heroines for our nameless protagonist to romance. Sadly, nothing really develops, and instead readers can expect a little more of the same.
君がこの店でベロニカに相談した時も、じゃあトリアさんはそういう意味
Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 2 begins immediately after the first entry leaves off. Dahlia, the boyish warrior, announces that she wants to be a woman and needs the protagonist's help. The bonds here develop quickly in this entry, with all the real character development saved for the end. We also learn more about the magician Veronica, who is hiding a few secrets of her own. Throughout the adventure, the 2 girls' friendship is put to the test, and they must face a powerful foe. Once that's out of the way, the romance can begin. I enjoy the protagonist's personality in the first entry, but I think the writers are overdoing it with the confused character trope. Everything that happens is set up in a way where he apologizes for seeing them in some exposed state and then saying, well, that's okay, or some characters will come in and get mad at him. This happens several times to the point where it stops being funny and acts as padding to the game's already short runtime. Regardless of this, there are some significant steps to give this series more substance. The world building is expanded by introducing a sort of antagonist who is even given his own illustration. Further, the story's conclusion has some decent writing in terms of providing the characters more depth and not merely focusing on the theme of Dahlia wanting to be more feminine. The issues from the first entry emerge once again as the choices don't matter. The options seem to be even less significant now considering the Switch version is missing some CGs of the adult variety. Regardless, only one choice really unlocks anything new, but no matter what you choose, you'll end up with the girls and they'll be happy in the end. Following the series' trends, Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 2 ends on a cliffhanger that you can see from a mile away, but it's still a fun way to continue the series. I appreciated that the story included scenes of Daisy and Lupin, and didn't just forget that the 3 of them had a pretty interesting relationship in the first release. However, I only have to assume that this harem will become even more complicated in the final entry, if it is indeed the final entry. Many of the assets return in Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 2, including character illustrations, background, and music. We get a few more CGs and some alternate illustrations for the 2 main characters, which was a nice inclusion. The romance scenes are left to the imagination, so if that's what you're reading this for, and I assume it is, then I'd wait for the PC release. The music is perhaps the most lacking element of the game, as it is pretty forgettable. Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 2 continues this adventure and won't leave any significant impact on you after the credits roll. The scenarios are becoming repetitive, but the character development and world building make this one of the more palatable Arage available. If you aren't reading for the story though, I definitely wait for the PC version. Noisy Pixel is giving Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 2 a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.